till you guys eat this.
Wow. Hey, look, it's so
Give me
deep.
some of that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Arena. I'm your man, Eric Wilson. We observed a 10-second moment of silence for the Hall of Famer Kevin Greene, who unfortunately passed away at the young age of 58. We want to wish our best to his family. Our prayers and condolences go out to his wife and his children. With that, everybody, happy holidays from the Sports Arena. Your man, Eric Wilson, joined by my two brothers this evening. Let me go ahead and get them up in here. Of course, we've got telling both sides of the story with the Turning Point Podcast, Mr. Jake Rongholt. Jake, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm hanging in there right now, trying to get over that loss of Kevin Greene. 160 sacks, third all time. Was never the biggest, but he had the greatest heart, and he was always just an amazing person to listen to. I mean, his Hall of Fame speech was one of the best I've ever heard, and so there's a hole in the heart right now for the NFL. Kevin Greene lost, so hearts out to Bill Cowher and Tara Green and everybody out there. But otherwise, ready for the holidays.
And I appreciate, because I know, when things like this happen, we always want to take a moment and reflect and cherish those closest to us. So I thank you for taking time to be on here tonight. Let me welcome in also Believe in the Pac-12 podcast.
Oh, jeez, I gotta go. I'm just kidding.
I know. Trust me. He's always the first one to show up and the last one to leave. It's like I can never get rid of this guy, but I do love him. I can't argue that. And my two favorite words from yesterday, I just have to say this as we start here tonight. Mama Carrot Tenuto. Love her. I know she's happy right now. I know it's one win, and we will definitely talk about that, but I was screaming from the top of my lungs when they went into victory formation. So Mike, what's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, no, I mean, happy, except now they probably lost Trevor Lawrence, but, whatever. It happens. No, that being said, yeah, I mean, I remember watching Kevin Greene play, and I got to see him play here when, yes, it was in Tempe, and I know, Neil O'Donnell, everybody said he played for the Cowboys, and when the Cowboys beat the Steelers here at Sun Devil Stadium. But, yeah, that was a heck of a game. I mean, especially the matchup with that offensive line and Kevin Greene, I mean, and Greg, the other linebackers, it was ridiculous. But yeah, no, I mean, it is a bummer, man. He was, I mean, I love watching the old NFL films. Jake's probably too young to remember the beginning of NFL films like we are, Eric. But no, I remember watching NFL films and just watching him yap away and just crush people. And even when he started coaching too, I remember when he was in Carolina for a little bit, he played there. But I mean, he had that same intensity. It's like when he was coaching, I thought they were going to suit him up, sign him as a player coach, couldn't probably take anymore. But yeah, it is a tough loss. And unfortunately, of course, it always happens near the holiday season, which is definitely a bummer for his family. But yeah, I mean, if you're I will say this about the Jets. I mean, that they
hold on. We're not getting there yet. We're not getting there yet.
Real quick.
Please.
It took 6 internships for him to get a full-time job as the linebackers coach for the Green Bay Packers. He made Clay Matthews what he was during that time. And if you watch after Kevin Green left as linebackers coach, Clay Matthews was never the same again. He was such a incredible influence in the National Football League.
Yeah. So we'll get to the Jets in a moment, but Alex unfortunately can't be joining us here tonight. He's busy making that money. So I guess we're going to start off the show with my team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And I had posed a question to the group. Am I finally going to admit that Jalen Hurts is my present and my future quarterback? And gentlemen, quite frankly, the answer is simply this. Based on what I saw in the game against Green Bay, what he was able to do against New Orleans, and then what we saw yesterday against the Arizona Cardinals, it's not so much with a heavy heart, I think, as it is a clearer mind. And I will say to you, I truly feel that Jalen Hurts is now my present and future quarterback. I have to agree with Dan Orlovsky and say that I don't think Carson Wentz is going to play another snap as quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. I think his time has come. But that does have me go back to my crazy thought that I had, that I mentioned last Thursday, in saying that Eric Bieniemy would come to Philadelphia and sign Dak Prescott. I'm going to eliminate the sign Dak Prescott side of it and say I think Eric Bieniemy comes to Philadelphia as the new head coach in this offseason, and I think him and Jalen Hurts have a great ride together. That is my crazy thought. Call it what you will. Please feel free to chime in. But gentlemen, let me go to you and simply say, after what you've seen in 2.5 games, Mike, what are your thoughts on Hurts?
I mean, like I said last week, I mean, there are spots there where he looks good. Yes, I know yesterday was the 13th different starting lineup for the offensive line that Peterson's had to start. But look, for Jalen Hurts, he's a second pick. I like what I see. I mean, at times, here's a twist. I heard Orlovsky say that today too. Here's my twist.
Okay.
If you're worried about the $25 million, which, again, you can't just – I mean, nobody in their right mind look, from a business side, you're not trading with the Eagles for Carson Wentz. You're not picking up that contract, especially if you want him to come in and battle the starting position. Now, you had a crazy thought last week because Dak Prescott's not leaving Dallas. My crazy thought, though, piggybacking off that is, look, Jalen Hurts is balled out. You owe Wentz $25 million. If he balls out these last 2 games, right? Well, they're going to lose to Dallas, but say he plays the last 2 games. That being said, what if you're our favorite GM, you're Howie, and you're like, he's rocked it. Jake said today earlier in our text, they need this, they need linebackers, they need offensive line, this and that. So you can't trade Wentz, but you sure as heck can trade Jalen Hurts and get a ton of picks in this year's draft and next year's draft. I'm not saying it works well for them, and people in Philly might go absolutely nuts. But if you're a GM, who would you trade for? And yeah, contracts aside, I get it. But $25 million, no GM in their right mind is going to trade, because everybody's saying the Patriots today. I got so many messages from friends. Patriots, right? Are you kidding me? Like, they're not. Bill Belichick is not trading for a $25 million guaranteed contract next year. It's not going to happen. I think it would help Carson Wentz, sure. But you could trade Jalen Hurts. I mean, you hit on him in the 2nd round. And a lot of people felt, we even talked about this on draft day, the 4 of us, that you probably could have got Jalen Hurts in the 4th round. Like, most likely, maybe the 3rd. You could have maybe waited 1 more round, but you could have got him 3rd or 4th round from what everybody's saying. So if Howie hit on that, which we have to give him credit for, as much as a lot of people probably didn't want him there, if he hit on that, you trade him at this highest value, which I always say to trade a player. Eric, you guys can clean up on draft picks. I do not want that to happen because, to Jake's point, I think they would get a lot of what they need. And offensive line's going to get healthy, and hopefully Zach Ertz has a star on his helmet next year too. Jake and I.
All right, stop.
But anyway, as for Jalen Hurts,
you have your quarter cowboy moment there.
As for Jalen
throw in 86, not happening.
He's playing well. All kidding aside, he is playing well. But look, the tape's out there, and the Cardinals were whooping him in the first half. I mean, absolutely whooping him. He didn't do too great, but
I give love to Patrick Peterson and what he was able to do yesterday. But let's make it perfectly clear: 2 things. Number 1, Ertz ain't going nowhere. Number 2, you make a viable point. But here's some things coming up that I wanna ask you. So, what about the possibility? Because we're getting chimed in here on the chat. Someone here saying that Zeke is gone after this year.
That's
which I can
possible.
see that just the way he's been playing. He's been more of a knuckle. He's been more of a curse than a blessing.
With the guaranteed money, are you kidding me? It'd be like Carson Wentz. They just signed him. That Jake shaking his head no because, look, Jerry Jones, businessman or not, you can't. Same thing with Wentz. You can't just release me. You know how much dead money you have.
All right, fine. So what about this then? What if he goes to Denver if Matthew Stafford doesn't get there first? What about that? Jake, let me ask you that question.
Carson Wentz is going to get traded regardless because he doesn't want to be the backup quarterback. So what are you going to do? You're going to force him because of this contract? You're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to go find a football team that is willing to pick up that money. And it could be Denver. It could be San Francisco for the heck of it. It could be Indianapolis. Because right now what we're seeing is Jalen Hurts playing like he was at the University of Oklahoma. Never mind that he has been sacked 9 times this year. 5 touchdowns, an interception, and a quarterback rating of 92. He went against toe-to-toe with Kyler Murray yesterday. 24 for 44, 338 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I don't see an interception in there. And he was also able to make nothing into something. There was one great play where he rolled out to the right side, looked like he was about to lose the football, and was able to find Travis Fulgham off the right side. That was crazy to me. Think about the receivers he's throwing to: Fulgham, Greg Ward Jr., and Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, Alshon showed up out of nowhere.
Alshon, and then Zach Ertz is back to life. Because that's another thing, too. If Howie Roseman believes that this was the future of the Philadelphia Eagles, you don't have to pay him first-round money. He's going to be paid as a second-rounder because that's where he was picked. And then you have this opportunity now to pay Zach Ertz to get an offensive line, to pick up players and build around this guy. If Carson Wentz doesn't want to be there, do him a favor, do the Eagles a favor, and send him. You have to make this move. Yeah. If you don't,
but
Howie Roseman is going to be gone.
Hold on, Mike. And to do my blood pressure a favor, get out of here. And please let me go on record and apologize. I formally apologize. I should not have just said someone. L. Bushman from the Sports Caffeine chimed in here and said Wentz will stay in Philly as an insurance policy if Hurts fails. So
absolutely, because it makes sense. I know he doesn't want to be backup, but real quick, Jake, he said they need to trade him and find a team. If you're a GM of a different team and I come to you, what can I give you? I can't make up $25 million. What are you giving them? 3 years of first-round picks? No, but you can't make – there's no logical trade. And nobody's going to take on that contract if they care about, like you're saying, building a team. Like, I just – there's no way it's happening. Like, if it does, I'm proud of that GM, but I guarantee you he's getting fired if he makes that trade.
Carson Wentz, 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He's been sacked 50 times this year. Jake, I don't blame him wanting to be out of Philadelphia right now.
Jake, pick on Eric like that, Jake. That's not nice.
Jake, you're tugging on my heartstrings, man. I might have to kick you out of one of the cookouts, brother. I don't know if you can still come now. Hold on now. Okay, let's move on, gentlemen, here on the Sports Arena. Man, Eric Wilson alongside Jake and Mike. So let me ask you guys a question, because we're watching this horrible game on Monday Night Football right now, which I still cannot get over the fact that not since 1990 the Pittsburgh Steelers have been shut out in the first half by the Cincinnati Bengals. Come on now. Cincinnati, 2-10-1 Cincinnati. Mike has turned don't turn the TV on, Mike. Ain't worth it.
No Joe Burrow, no Brandon Allen. They're down to the third string quarterback. Think about that.
Yeah,
no Tyler Boyd because he got hurt in the first quarter.
Ryan Finley. Is that who it is?
Ryan Finley.
Finley, yeah.
So now, this goes back to something that I have said previously that people were kind of sleeping on. I said We're not sure what Pittsburgh's going to be at, and Cleveland is actually looking like a legit team. So now, if Pittsburgh does not get out of their own way and win this game tonight, we do realize that the AFC North crown is in fact up for grabs, and that last matchup between Cleveland and Pittsburgh could be for the AFC. I'm still blown away by the fact that this might happen. But aside from that, what is the reasonable chance? How much of the percentage are we giving Cleveland in the postseason? They're going to have to play the Tennessees of the world. They may have to play the Kansas Cities of the world. They may have to play the Baltimores of the world if Baltimore gets in. Gentlemen, Cleveland. Let me say this one more time for those in the cheap seats. The Cleveland Browns are in the playoffs and could potentially win the AFC North crown. Mike, what?
I know. Look, the way they've played the last 2 weeks, Baker Mayfield, everybody's saying his ego is the number one quarterback. Look, he can make the throws. I mean, they were showing replays last night. They were talking about it, him just driving through the ball, watching the game. He looked good. But look, their formula to win works well. Now, I don't fully agree, and I get where the commentator analysts are coming from and saying, well, they're not built to play from behind. He can make the throws. They have receivers that can make plays. But they're built to shove the ball down your throat, old school football, because every time we hear, and I've said this to you for years, Eric, people say, oh, the game's changed, pass, pass, pass. What does every single winning coach say coming into the playoffs? If we can't run the ball, we can't run the ball, and we can't stop the run, we're not winning. Right. Like, good, throw it 50 times. Chances are you're going to complete. Okay, on a good day, maybe a guy completes like 35 out of 50, which is still a lot. 30 out of 50, let's say. But you can't run the ball to get first downs, and you can't stop a run, you're not winning. Like, you're going to have to run the ball at some point because the Bills proved that. I'll get to relating to the Browns, though, but the Bills proved that against the Chiefs. We saw the Chiefs run it on. The Chiefs couldn't throw it on the Bills when they beat them, and the Bills aren't scared of them. So percentage-wise for Cleveland, to get to your question, I literally put them behind definitely Kansas City, definitely Buffalo, because I'm loving Bills.
Yes, I'm drinking the Bills cool table. You are. Put me through the table. Let's go.
I would say, I mean, look, the Steelers will probably come back and win this because it's the Bungles. It's 17-7. But that being said, I put them in that mix right there, pretty even with Tennessee. Look, Tennessee has Derrick Henry, and they gave Tennessee a first half beatdown. That being said, they did. They still had to hold on to win. So I don't think they want a rematch with Tennessee, but I would put both like Tennessee and Cleveland like 3 because I go Kansas City and Buffalo.
So what's the percentage, Mike? That's my question. What is the percentage
to win a playoff game?
Not only of them winning a playoff game, but actually making a run in the postseason.
Okay, I would say I will go 27%.
Really?
27. Yeah, I'll go 27%.
Okay,
yeah,
all right. Fine. No, that's fine, Jake. Floor is yours, brother.
Right now they'd be the 5 seed, right? Hold on, real quick. Sorry, Jake. They'd be the 5 seed right now, right? So that means they'd be playing Tennessee again in Tennessee, which they're not going to be scared of them. But like I said, if you can run the ball and you can keep Derrick Henry off the field, you're doing a good job. So that's why I say I go 27%.
Okay. Jake?
I'm going to go 40%. This team has really proved a lot here in the past couple of weeks. I mean, look at Baker Mayfield, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. But in his last 4 games, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Had a great performance against a solid defense in the Giants. 27 for 32 last night. 27 for 32. Not to mention 32-year-old general manager Andrew Berry did a very smart thing. He revamped that offensive line. Jedrick Willis off the left side. Right side, he pays Jack Conklin, which was a monster move for them. J.C. Tretter's been good as a center, and they've been able to turn this running game into one of the most dominant. They are 3rd in rushing, 153 yards per game average, and 17 touchdowns. That's insane with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Not to mention, outside of this offense, this defense plays better when they are healthy, when they have Myles Garrett, when they have Denzel Ward. And if they have that ability to be healthy, this is not going to be an easy team to deal with. Even if the Ravens do get in, the Browns are going to be that team that can at least get one game won and then be ready to go back next year because they're going to be even better if they keep this up. Kevin Stefanski has done something that no Cleveland coach has done since Bill Belichick. Give them a winning mentality. Because, in case you forgot, before Bill Belichick was shamelessly fired in 1995 when Art Modell moved the team to Baltimore, this team was going to be a playoff contender for the next couple of years. So this is something that Cleveland has not seen. They have to finish the job, though. Beat the Jets next week, and then give the Steelers all you got. Even if you lose, it doesn't matter. You still have a successful season. Watch out.
Well, Jake, to piggyback, Eric, real quick, to piggyback off of Jake real quick, Kevin Stefanski, because that was my point to Alex last week, and I know Alex gave Minnesota's numbers, and they have good numbers this year. But to Jake's point on Stefanski, it's attitude. It is absolute attitude. That offensive line, yes, has gotten upgraded, but it has a nastier attitude. And Stefanski is just pulling the string, calling the play. So I think it would have been – look, Minnesota gave Chicago their second win in a row yesterday. But Stefanski, to me, definitely up for Coach of the Year. And
hell no, he
–
doesn't get it.
I'm not saying he's getting it. I'm saying
there are so many coaches above him. I'm not giving it to Stefanski.
But you just said it's Cleveland, dude. They haven't had – they haven't –
Here is my consideration for Cleveland. You said 27. Jake, you said 40. We got chiming in again, L. Bushman saying 25%.
25.
Let me say this. I'm going to go, as Michael and all them said on NFL Sunday morning, I'm going to go a titch higher and say 45%. Here's my reason why. Because of what we're seeing with Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh doesn't find a way, like I said earlier, to get out of their own way, there's going to be a title change. The crown is going to move from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. And the one thing that I have always said when it comes to Cleveland is when you have all that talent on paper, and on paper, you should be a dominant force. Well, now they're actually showing up, and they're doing it without one of their, if not primary weapon in Odell Beckham Jr. You're absolutely right. Myles Garrett is a beast coming off that edge. We know what they're capable of on the defensive side of the ball. I have been the most critical of anybody on this show of Baker Mayfield. And I have to actually take a step back and say to myself, okay, all that confidence, all that swagger, all that ego that you have is actually starting to exude confidence. So I want to see what exactly they are going to do. But I tell you this, if the Bengals find a way to win this game tonight, Week 17 matchup between Cleveland and Pittsburgh needs to be Sunday Night Football, because you're absolutely right, Jake and Mike. Cleveland needs to give them everything and the dog snot out of Pittsburgh to take that crown. They don't get a bye, so they're going to play whoever is number 7. But, I mean, it's just something to behold and something we haven't seen. And, again, I'll go back to 2020, so it's kind of funny. Brady leaves New England. The Patriots get eliminated. Cleveland gets into the playoffs. I mean, 2020 is really coming, I hate to say, full circle for a lot of things that have existed previously. Go ahead, Jake. Final word, then we're out of here.
Keep this in mind, too. Keep this in mind.
Sure.
Dolphins-Raiders is a monster game right now, because if the Dolphins lose out in the next 2 games, guess who's coming to visit? The Baltimore Ravens. Because if they win out, watch out. That could be interesting. We might get a rematch of Monday Night Football between those 2 teams.
Eric, real quick though, if Pittsburgh does lose tonight and Cleveland wins the division, I will get you a third lunch, because if Cleveland wins the division, like you just said, Jake, you're saying, my dear Lord, he just said it'll mean something. If Cleveland beats them and they win the division, Kevin Stefanski is a unanimous Coach of the Year because Cleveland won the division. You proved my point for me.
All right, fine. Let's keep it moving here on the sports arena. So, gentlemen, the game of the week that I personally did not think was the game of the week, but I'll defer to the two of you. Did the Saints-Chiefs matchup, did it live up to the hype, Jake?
No, it didn't, because this was not a healthy Drew Brees, and he didn't have his best weapon in Michael Thomas. And still, the Chiefs were able to escape by 3 points. Think about this. 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung. Starts off 7 for 22. After that, he goes off for 8 for 12 and 2 touchdowns. And the problem is right now, the Chiefs are vulnerable, because now they are showing that this secondary is a big issue. If you can't be able to stop the likes of Alvin Kamara and Jared Cook and what Drew Brees was able to do, I mean, he wasn't even healthy yesterday, And this Chiefs team had problems trying to close the door on them. Even though they did get away with it with 3 touchdown passes by Patrick Mahomes, he still threw 47 passes. He was 26 for 47. This game, to me, the best game was the Eagles and the Cardinals. That was the best game. This was just a fine game, but it wasn't. It just felt false to me because we didn't have 2 fully healthy teams. And so I don't know, honestly, who the real Kansas City Chiefs are right now, because this defense start pulling the alarm bells right now, because this defense, they got some issues.
Okay,
Jake,
Mike, look,
Jake,
hold on. No,
Jake.
Mike, hold on now.
No,
you
that's
won
fine, Mike.
yesterday. Can't you be happy that you
I got
won?
mine.
Even
I
though
am
Brandon
happy.
Ayuk had a great game yesterday against.
Forks up, baby. That's
Yeah,
right. Forks
you know
up.
what I'm
He's a
saying?
Sun
So,
Devil, baby.
Can't you just be
Pac-12.
happy about? Can't you be happy about that? And then the fact that the Eagles came to where you are currently living, and
2
they
miles away.
and they
2 miles
left with
away.
an L. So you should be happy, but you still got to be mad because that wasn't
No.
the game of the week. You
I am
saw
mad.
what
No.
DeAndre Hopkins did
No.
yesterday,
No.
right?
Oh, yeah. The touchdown catch by Larry Fitzgerald. I know the pass Mahomes made, Jake. The pass Mahomes made was sick because he's about to get crushed, and he puts that on a rope. Look, I think it did live up to the hype, Jake, but to your point, is because Drew Brees wasn't healthy. He was rusty, but yet the defense carried it. Kamara's there. As for the Chiefs, look, man, I always say it's the NFL. So I never say anybody not that these 2 teams are looking past each other. They're bored. Like when Patrick Mahomes has a play, Jake, where he makes a basketball chest pass to Travis Kelce for a touchdown, the Chiefs, look, they're going into the AP test, Jake, with all the answers. Like, they can overcome everything. They will figure out the jigsaw puzzle. They will beat you. They have Patrick Mahomes. The defense, yeah, okay, it has its moments, but the offense still has the fastest man in the league in Tyreek Hill. Then you also give him Kelce and then Hardman. And it's just, you look and it's like, and then, okay, so the guy ran what, a 4.6 at the combine? Oh, he's not that fast? Funny, when he gets out in the open field and he needs to get a first down, he gets the first down. I'm with you, Jake. Yes, you want everybody to be sharp for 16 weeks. I mean, you're a Packers fan. They could have put up 80 yesterday, and you'd be like, well, it was a terrible performance, though, because they're lying. I mean, as fans, we're going to sit there and nitpick, and I get it. But I'm just saying, I kind of agree when I hear, they want to win, but they might be bored. You get close.
Who said they're bored? I want to know your source as far as saying that the Chiefs were bored.
On NFL Live. On NFL Live.
There was
On
something
NFL Live.
that a lot of people are forgetting about. Tyreek Hill was a non-factor yesterday. Dennis Allen had Marshawn Lattimore on him like glue on paper at that
Still
point.
had a touchdown.
That's something right there. Because even with McCole Hardman and Demarcus Robinson and all that, they're not trustworthy in this. They're not like Tyreek Hill. And then not to mention their offensive line issues continue to be a problem. Their right tackle, Stefan Wisniewski, out of nowhere, decides to become the right tackle because Mike Remmers can't stay healthy because he has a back injury. So be careful with the Kansas City Chiefs. There are a lot of flaws.
Okay,
well,
so
you want to
really
say
quick,
a lot. I want to say a teeny bit, and you still have Travis Kelce. And you by the way, you got Le'Veon Bell for this too, because Allaire gets hurt. High ankle sprain. Sorry, Eric. Go on.
So no, that's fine. So I'm gonna put one more comment out. We're gonna go to a quick break, and we're gonna come back in 30 seconds. So I want you guys to answer this question when we come back. Did the Saints rush Breeze out too early? All right, think about that. We're back in 30 seconds. More with the Sports Arena. Welcome back to the Sports Arena. Man, Eric Wilson alongside Turning Point Podcast, Mr. Jake Rongholt, and Believe in the Pac-12, Mr. Michael Caratenuto, the constant pessimist here on the show. I thought that would be me, but clearly it is him. So I'm going to give you each, listen, gentlemen, I'll give you each 30 seconds really quick. I just got to get your thoughts on this. So, Jake, I'm going to start with you. 30 seconds. Did the Saints rush Breeze back too early?
The only ones that don't know about that is Sean Payton and Drew Brees. If Drew Brees believed that he was healthy enough to try and get a W for this team, then I got no issue with it. If he believed, no, I can't do it, put out Taysom Hill. But you knew that Drew Brees was going to come back against Patrick Mahomes. Anybody. It doesn't matter. Patrick Mahomes is the reason to come out and play quarterback against each other. I do believe it was too early, but you know something? That's up to Drew Brees. Brees wanted to play Mahomes. He got his wish. Next week against the Vikings, not sure.
All right, Mike, 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, I do think it was a little early, but the way he was moving makes me think, okay, at least he can move around. He didn't look didn't look bad. Yes, I know the second quarter passing was terrible, and like Jake already talked about what he did, but it is between him and Sean Payton. But yes, he wanted to come back against the Chiefs because a lot of people think this could still be a Super Bowl preview. And with the way the game played out, I totally think it could be. Did they rush him back? Possibly could have came back this week against Minnesota. But, I mean, hey, it was a 3-point game.
All right, here's my 30 seconds on it as well. So the way I look at it is like this. Based on what happened in Philadelphia, I think it was quick of a rush to judgment. But I think moving forward, considering that New Orleans is still, the top dog in the entire NFC, they needed to make sure that their quarterback, their guy, who probably this is his last season, is the guy that they need. They want to make sure that he's good to go. His timing, his rhythm, his continuity is down with his guys. The fact that they didn't have Michael Thomas, I think, makes a huge factor in all of this. But in essence and in the end, I think they did rush him back. They could have waited. All right, gentlemen, let's keep it going. Let's talk about my second favorite team, and that is the New York Jets. Because of Mama Cara Tenuto and, of course, my wife, I'm just saying that they won. They beat the Rams. Hey, say what you will. They did what people were not expecting them to do. And Adam Gase would probably – this man has the best poker face in the world because you can't tell or call his emotions. What does this say about the Rams, Jake? Because here's the one thing I thought about it when I watched this game yesterday. I'm like, okay, Carson Wentz is on the bench, and Jared Goff looks like a shell of himself. So I want to go back to that draft class and say, can we start over? Can we maybe? Because those two guys just ain't getting it done. And both of them have been to a Super Bowl. Neither one has won, but they both have been there.
Jared Goff, remind yourself, was Jeff Fisher's guy, not Sean McVay's. And maybe Sean McVay doesn't mesh with Goff right now because you can't play like you did yesterday against the New York Jets. They're 0-13, 17-point favorites, and you can't win at home? That's ridiculous. And outside of the Rams defense, this offense, there's still some really faulty circuits in this offense because this running game is too hot and cold for me to trust. Their wide receivers are not very trustworthy either. I mean, Robert Woods is very dependable, but where in the world was Cooper Kupp yesterday? Tyler Higbee. Why am I seeing a deep ball throw to Gerard Everett of all people? I didn't even know the guy was starting yesterday. And there's just something wrong with this team. And then let's talk about the Jets here for a minute. I'm going to flip the script here. I want Jet fans to relax here, okay? This is not the worst thing that happened to you as a Jets fan. The worst thing that happened to you was a team that quit. Back in 1995, they were 1-15. They had no quarterback, and they had a guy named Hugh Douglas who said on an NFL top 10 that people were walking in and getting paid. That's it. This Jets team has tried game after game after game to try and get one W. Mekhi Becton does not give a damn about Trevor Lawrence. He gives a damn about winning. And if he gets that win, they get to cherish that. Nice try, Jets fans. This is not the worst thing that happened to you.
Yeah, not taking Marino in the 83 draft was the worst thing that ever happened to the Jets because Marino was sitting right there. But look, O'Brien was a good college quarterback, but everybody that passed on Marino was clueless. But anyway, I digress to your point, Eric. When you look at what the Rams did, and look, yeah, it was Fisher's guy. McVay came in. You had a running game. Look, Jared Goff can sling the ball. I'm not sitting there reaction losing to a winless team at the time and giving them their first win. But yeah, the Jets have been battling. I mean, look, they should have beat the Raiders. Had they beat the Raiders, maybe this turns out different. But yeah, the Rams have to play better at home. But if you're the Jets, I mean, how they played defensively. I mean, you look across the locker room at MetLife and you see your number one, your first round defensive lineman just killing it for the Giants, healthy. Then you look at Seattle when, obviously they must have loved hearing Jamal Adams yesterday. Like, what? I'm in the play. Like, what? I mean, his reaction was priceless. That being said, it isn't the worst thing because I said to you last week, Sam Darnold will be a great fit in Indy if they're going to dump him, if they think they're going to get Trevor Lawrence. I'll put Sam Darnold with Frank Reich because look what Sam Darnold did yesterday, man. That kid stands in the pocket. He's taken some hits, but he delivers the ball. He looked more confident. Obviously, he's been injured. I know that, but these last 2 weeks, he's looked a lot better. He looked like the Sam Darnold you figured, yeah, that cat should be the number one pick, not just because I'm here on the West Coast, but when he was at USC, I mean, anytime they were down in the fourth quarter, it was like he's going to bring him back, and he usually did. But for the Jets, look, you have Darnold. Now you need to go back and get defensive linemen. Like you need to get that big guy in the middle. So I don't think this is the worst because you know what? They have a ton of picks coming up. Adam Gase probably is going to be there, but the GM that took these guys, I think the GM stays. But and if you're a Jets fan, the 10 Jets fans that are left, I will say this to them because they will multiply fast.
I'm just saying.
I know. That's why I said the
Shout out
10
to Nick
Jets fans, including my mom that are left. You're in a division now where look, will the Patriots of Belichick be down for long? Probably not. The Dolphins are on the up. The Bills are the best team in the AFC East. And with what Josh Allen is doing, it's going to be crazy. So, yes, you need to find that quarterback, but I think you have him. So now you need to build. You need to build the offensive line back up. I mean, and you're talking about Wentz and Goff going to the Super Bowl. Come on, man. Wentz went, but he was a spectator. He didn't play in it.
I didn't say they won. What did I just say? I said they didn't win.
No. The Eagles won, but Wentz wasn't playing.
Right. I didn't say he was a part of the team. He wasn't on the field.
Touche.
Goff was on the field and couldn't get it done. All right. With that being said, gentlemen, I got to get Alex Fleming in here, showing up to the party as always, making a cameo here this evening. Alex, good evening, sir. How are you?
Tired. Let's roll.
All right. So we're talking about the Jets and their first win, but they lost the Sunshine Sweepstakes. So listen, we can keep it moving if you don't feel comfortable.
No, bring it, because I'm actually happy about it.
Okay.
That had to be the worst victory in NFL history. I mean, you've been tanking all year. You let the Raiders off the hook. You've been tanking so damn bad. Do y'all remember week 4 against Denver when they just kept sending blitz after blitz after blitz? And now, all of a sudden, Sunshine doesn't want to play for you, so you decide to beat a team in the NFC West who was trying to win the division, and you lose the Sunshine Sweepstakes? I mean, I cover the Jaguars. We're happy. I'm happy. Trust me. I'm happy. Sunshine. But yeah, Adam Gase needs to go, bro. It's embarrassing.
All right, fair enough. So let me move on here because I'm going to let Alex have his moment again because Alex, congratulations to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When all seemed like it was lost, Falcons, yet again, found a way to blow the lead. So this was something you spoke about Thursday on the carousel, brother. I'm going to let you take your time on this one, sir. The floor is again yours.
Did you not hear what I told you guys Thursday? Better yet, did you guys not read what I wrote for you guys in May and June? No, better yet, did you guys not hear what Eric and I spoke about well before the season started about these damn Atlanta Falcons? Since the Super Bowl, they've been an under 500 team. Matt Ryan's looked like a shell of himself because the ice has done melted. Julio Jones doesn't want to play for this damn franchise anymore. They can't stop burnt toast. They can't stop the wet paper bag. Their secondary is SAWFT soft. And I'm looking for Danny Thompson. I'm looking for you. I tried to tell you. I done told you. Bro, I'm so sick and tired of these Atlanta Falcons talking whoop-de-woo at the mouth in the NFC South chat rooms about we're going to beat the Saints or we're going to beat the Bucks. Y'all have problems beating the Carolina Panthers, all right? As far as I'm concerned, my prediction of 4-12, that's 5-11, Call me now for your free reading. Y'all are straight garbage. Y'all need to be an expansion team for the XFL. Sorry ass Falcons.
Mike, Jake, anything else you want to add to that one?
Yeah,
I
I
would
do,
like
because
to,
the Falcons are sorry.
Go ahead,
The
Mike.
Falcons are sorry. I will say that I'll agree with them. They are. But all it proves to me is that you're down 17-0 to a sorry team who, yes, ended up blowing the lead, but you got to dig all the way back. The Bucs ain't going anywhere in the NFC. The Falcons, Alex, to your point, are sorry. And Matt Ryan, yeah, a change of scenery could do him good. Julio Jones, I'm with you on that, wants to change the scenery. But the Bucs are going nowhere in the NFC because you get down 17-0 to the Falcons. Sorry, I don't care if you came back. You're right, Alex. They are sad, and you were down 17-0 to those bums. You're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
Jake, 30 seconds. I've got one last question, and then we are getting out of football for the time being. Please go.
Okay. All right, I'll say this real quick here. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about the Falcons. This is the fifth time that they have blown a lead this year. Tom Dimitroff fired. Dan Quinn fired. Raheem Morris, you're going to be fired. They're going to have a brand new general manager and a brand new coach who is going to have to revamp a secondary, linebackers, and a defensive line. Not to mention, is Matt Ryan going to be there? We don't know. And then Julio Jones. He doesn't want to play for Atlanta anymore, even though he has a fully guaranteed contract. He's only one of two players and has a fully guaranteed contract with the Atlanta Falcons. So regardless, whether he's in Atlanta or anywhere else, he's still going to get his money. But Falcons, enough is enough with this. You need an identity, and you haven't had one since the Super Bowl.
All right, gentlemen, last question in football. Then we are going to switch topics here on the Sports Arena tonight. Alex, thank you for chiming in. So, gentlemen, with the number 7 spot still being added, first off, to this season's playoffs, give me your pick right now who you think is going to be the number 7 spot in the AFC and also in the NFC. Mike, who are your two teams? AFC first and NFC.
AFC first and NFC. 7 seed, you know what? I'm going to roll with I say the Ravens get in. I say the Ravens are the 7 seed.
NFC?
In the NFC, man.
Don't you dare say that team.
You want me to say the Bears? You want me to say the Bears are going to be the 7th seed? No, I don't. Man, it's tough. I think the Cardinals are going to get the 6th seed. You know what? I am going to say it, Jake. The Bears are going to get the 7th seed 2 in a row. They're on another planet right now, and they're going to get the 7th seed. But Alex, to your point, they're going to lose in the first round, and Matt Nagy's going to get fired. But they're getting the 7th seed.
All right, Jake, who's your AFC, NFC number 7 seed?
AFC is going to be the Ravens. They got the Giants, and then they got the Bengals. The Steelers, who are blowing it right now in Cincinnati. The Ravens are not. Too well coached. Lamar Jackson's on an all-new level right now. They're going to be the 7th seed to watch out for. NFC, I'm going with the Cardinals. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Cliff Kingsbury, I love Kyler Murray and I love DeAndre Hopkins. And then if you saw that running game yesterday, Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds, that dynamic duo, Batman and Robin right there, I would love it if that was the Saints and the Cardinals as the first game.
All right, so we've got 2 for Baltimore on the AFC side of things. We've got 1 for Chicago, just to pick it, Jake, and then 1 for the Cardinals. Mr. Fleming, AFC, NFC, who you got at number 7, sir?
I believe for the AFC, I told you guys last week, y'all sleeping on those Baltimore Ravens. What y'all don't seem to realize about the Baltimore Ravens is that they're more comfortable when their back's against the wall. When El Freaky and them boys were the number 1 seed and had all those expectations, you had a whole bunch of hypocrites and haters saying that the running back won MVP for no reason. Well, guess what? He's reinvented himself. He's throwing the football. They still are second in the league when it comes to rushing, and nobody can stop them now. They're the most dangerous team in the AFC next to the Kansas City Chiefs. But I told you that last week. As far as the NFC is concerned, I'd love to pick the Bears, but there's a problem. They finished the season with the Green Bay Packers. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to blow the number 1 seed, losing to their South Side opponents in Chicago? Hell to the no. It's the Arizona Cardinals. If they win against San Francisco this Sunday, it's a wrap. Wrap it up, put a bow on it. Baltimore, Arizona.
No one's picking Miami, huh? No one's picking
the Raiders
Miami.
team, man. Marcus
Here's
Mariota.
something
What if he
realize,
has another
bro.
great
Hold
game?
on. All three of you had your time to speak. Can I get mine, please? Can I get mine?
You're the host.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was just checking. I'm just saying, I didn't say I was picking Miami. I was very surprised, though. But, Jake, you're putting it all on the line for this game against the Las Vegas Raiders, who personally, I feel Las Vegas understands what's in front of them, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it done because we don't know about the extent of Derek Carr and that groin injury or whatever he had. So I can't put my money on him. And Miami under Brian Flores, that defense is legit. So I'm saying to you right now, should Miami beat the Las Vegas Raiders? I say the Finns get in.
No,
Now,
you're forgetting about Buffalo.
Huh?
You're forgetting about those Buffalo Bills.
I'm not
And
forgetting
you know
about
why?
Buffalo, Alex.
So
I'm not
the way-
forgetting about Buffalo.
like the Buffalo.
You guys need a moment?
Circle the
saying-
wagons, baby.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
my
circle
pick,
the wagons.
if they win, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. On the NFC side, listen, after what happened yesterday, there's no way that I can't pick Arizona to get in because I still say the number one wide receiver in the entire NFL continually has proven time and time again that he's just the greatest. And then you add the living legend and the up and coming in Christian Drake. So yes, I am going to agree. Finns and Cardinals. That's who I'm saying. Based on what happens, that's what I'm saying. All right, we are going to move outside of the NFL completely because my brother, Mr. Jake Ronholt, wrote an amazing article with regards to the college football playoffs. Gentlemen, did the committee get it right this year with Alabama, Clemson, a 6-0 Ohio State, and Notre Dame? Jake, since you wrote the article, I want to go to you first, sir. Did the college football playoff committee get it right?
No. Come on. Ohio State 6-0. No. I understand that they want to be able to, punish Notre Dame for getting blown out to Clemson by having them play Alabama. That's totally fine. But I don't want to watch a blowout, okay? I don't want to watch back-to-back blowouts. I want to watch good football games. I want guys in there who actually want to get a shot. Texas A&M got screwed, all right? Plain and simple. Jimbo Fisher goes out, recruits very good defenders. They actually become one of the top defenses in the SEC. They should have had that shot. The only loss they had was to the number one team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's it. And for their troubles, they get nothing except for a game that doesn't matter for a college football playoff for a team that doesn't deserve it. And also another thing is, too, I love it how all the commentators were talking about Ohio State. In order for them to get in, they had to blow out Northwestern. Excuse me. They were down at halftime. They only won 22-10. And that was not a good performance for Justin Fields. Is it just because he's Justin Fields? Is that the only reason that we're going to have Trevor Lawrence versus Ohio State? Give me a break with this. Once again, it's brand and money over talent and people that deserve to actually be in a college football playoff. Because what you're saying now to them is Coastal Carolina, BYU, Oklahoma. Hey, we like you, man, but you don't have the brand that we want. There's some problems with this college football playoff, and I would not doubt if there is change coming in the next couple of years. This is a joke.
All right, Mike, go ahead. Get in there, brother.
Yeah, okay. They did get it wrong because my disdain and hatred for Ohio State, we all know. That being said, Texas A&M, to me, Jake, did not get screwed because, yeah, their one loss was to Alabama. They beat up on the rest of their conference, which, again, pretty average this year. You want to say COVID or not. But Cincinnati kept going down in the rankings for winning. Now, you bring up a good point because to me, I'm all good with Notre Dame staying in because what they did all season long, yes, in the championship game, it didn't. Clemson obviously got the best of them. But if you're Cincinnati, you're telling me you don't play and you keep dropping one spot each week from not playing. Ohio State went 1-0 and was still 3 in the AP poll, which people can say, oh, it doesn't affect the committee, this and that. Yes, it does. That being said, I'm good with Alabama. I'm good with Clemson. I'm good with Notre Dame. And the fourth should be Cincinnati because forget people saying because it's 2020, it's that kind of year. They won all their games. Yes, their conference championship game in the rain, pouring. They had to have a winning drive, kick a field goal to win it. Cincinnati, I would put up against Alabama. They're not fine. They might not beat Alabama, but Joey Galloway hasn't stopped talking about Cincinnati's defense from like week 3 on. And he's saying, and he even went out, him and Herbstreit went at it yesterday too. If you guys watched the show, saying, Herbstreit's saying, does anybody want to play Oklahoma? And Galloway, he's like, so you put him on the field with Cincinnati and Oklahoma. Cincinnati, I think, could beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma's defense has gotten better, but you're telling me, Cincinnati's just going to forget how to move the ball? Their defense has been dominant. I don't care who they've played. The Ohio State and all these teams, they get credit for playing crap teams in a full season, but Cincinnati doesn't get credit for what they've done. To me, it's a joke, and I don't think A&M should be there. And the biggest joke is that Florida still ends up ranked higher than Cincinnati with 3 losses. It's absolutely pathetic.
Okay.
And you want to expand the system, that's fine, but they did not get it right. Ohio State, real quick, Ohio State is going to get crushed against Clemson like they did 2 years ago when they shouldn't have been here and they couldn't even score a point. They saw what Northwestern's quote-unquote slower defense did, and they were supposed to blow Northwestern out. Oh, yeah, like Jake said, they got to kill him. They're going to kill him. Northwestern was toe-to-toe for 3.5 quarters.
All right, Alex.
So you're telling me I get fired. Sorry, Alex.
All right.
I hate it. I
get
can't
it.
stand Ohio State, and I hope they get crushed.
Alex, give me your thoughts on it real quick.
Are you done, Mike?
He's
Are
done.
you-
I'm just getting started.
He's getting warmed up. Don't let him go. He's gonna get warmed up.
Okay. A friend of mine that wants to join the business by the name of Jake Klausner wrote about this long before it even happened. The flaws in the college football playoff. Thank you, Jake. With that being said, I think they got it wrong on not one, but 2 occasions. First and foremost, you don't bend the rules that everybody else has to play by. What was the rules before this whole pandemic and season started? You have to win your college, semifinal, and you have to play a certain amount of games. Why is the Big Ten playing all goody-goody two-shoes to Ohio State? Because that's their bread and butter team. That's the money team. That's the team that you can actually represent for the rest of the conference, so that way you can try to make some more money for the rest of the conference.
Whoa.
I'm not done. With that being said, Notre Dame. Okay, look, you barely squeaked by a Clemson team without sunshine the first damn time. We all know that ACC outside of Clemson is trash. That's not the quarterback of Florida. That's just straight trash. The ACC doesn't scare nobody. So now when Sunshine, a.k.a. Fabio, comes back and you put up that performance on Saturday, you don't deserve to be in the top 4. Texas A&M won 7 straight games after losing to the number 1 team in the country. They didn't get invited because they're in the West, while that trash-ass Florida Gators is in the East. Do you think they would have put up a better fight against Alabama than Florida did? Maybe. They only got 1 loss. They love the SEC. How many times have we seen this college football playoff with multiple SEC teams? Multiple SEC teams. But now, all of a sudden, you don't want that smoke from Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher when you know damn well, strength of schedule-wise, they were the 4th team. Ohio State didn't belong. Notre Dame didn't belong. If you want a sacrificial lamb, bring in Cincinnati, a team that's not in the Power 5 conference, and have them get demolished by Alabama. But damn it, at least show that the system works. If you're Boise State, if you're UCF, if you're for damn sure BYU, and you're in Cincinnati, what do you tell your kids? Yeah, we're going to play football, but we're never going to get invited to the championship game. We're not even going to get
Coastal
because you're not good enough. You're not in the Power 5. Yeah. You're not going to make revenue, and the NCAA is all about making money off of your backs while you're not getting paid. We don't want to expand the system. Why would we do that? That means we got to invite some of these schools that aren't in the Power 5. And as far as Texas A&M is concerned, you've fallen upon deaf ears. We don't want you being the fly in the ointment. We don't want you having the opportunity to beat Alabama or any team in the college football playoff that we like to see win a national championship. Ohio State didn't deserve it because they didn't meet the recommendations. And Notre Dame for damn sure didn't deserve it because your first year in the ACC, you can't beat a quality team. It's a joke.
All right. We're going to move on, gentlemen, outside of the college football
Maybe
world.
Carolina.
We're going to bring it back home here to the NBA because the NBA does start up tomorrow night. And I'm just saying, thank God we got some basketball back. So, gentlemen, Mike, you're out west. Let's start with the Western Conference. Now, we know Klay Thompson's not coming back, but Steph and Draymond are going to be there. You've got this young, hungry squad now with the general in the Phoenix Suns because now they add CP3. We're not sure what James Harden is going to be, if he's still going to be with Houston or if he's not. Luka, are you still calling him the baby goat, Alex?
Well, I was wondering why he went so fast past Thick Ross. Why aren't we talking about Thick Ross? Huge Jackman. I mean, why'd you pass up, James Hardy's that quick?
I'm bringing them all into the mix, brother. I didn't talk about where he got. I'm just saying there were questions.
He got gut man strength. He got the power gut. He got the power gut. He can shoot so good.
I'm just saying, with these teams in the West, Mike, I'm going to go to you. What are your expectations for the Western Conference?
Absolute madness. I know they were saying because when they start up tomorrow, the offseason was for the Lakers and for the Heat was 71 days.
Yes.
So I think both of those teams, if they get out to slower starts, no, it's not going to be a big deal. But the Western Conference in general, I mean, I absolutely love it. Yes, what happens in Houston, I think John Wall and James Harden could work if James Harden wants it to. He wants to get out of there. We'll see what happens. But the Lakers, I love Utah. I love Denver. The Suns are going to be right there. The Clippers, I mean, you gave Paul George that money. He better perform now. Doc Rivers is gone, so he doesn't have any more whining excuses, does Paul George. Because if he starts making them, Kawhi said Kawhi's going to test free agency. So if Paul George is whining, Kawhi's not staying with the Clippers. But, Golden State, to me, like I said, people saying the Lakers, yes, it sucks that Klay's not there, but they got Wiseman. Golden State's going to be right back there because the best shooter in the whole NBA, Steph Curry, still plays for Golden State. And there's no way it's a better shooter in the league. It's not even close. Well, maybe except for Klay Thompson, and he's on his team and he's injured. That being said, it's going to be insane. I mean, that 8 through 11, I mean, I wish they had the kind of like the 8 through 10 kind of round robin before the playoffs start because 8 through 10 is going to be sick. I mean, I think you could literally see between 1 and 8 seed, you could see maybe like less than a 10-game difference. The 8 seed will be less than 10 games or less behind the 1 seed. It's just going to be insane. And I didn't think you don't think every year the West is just going to keep being dominant and getting better, but it's ridiculous. It is absolutely insane.
Alex,
and the Suns will make the playoffs. The Suns will make the playoffs. Chris Paul will get them there.
Fine. Alex, thoughts on the Western Conference?
Suns missed the playoffs due to the fact that all these other teams are so much better. Lakers, number 1, Clippers or Denver, 2, 3, interchange. I don't care. Do what you will. Utah, number 4, Luka, number 5, Portland, number 6, Memphis Grizzlies, number 7. And that number 8 spot, well, hell, I don't know. Could be the Pelicans, could be the Kings. Suns missed the playoffs. James Harden finds his way out of Houston some way, somehow. Thick Ross might end up with Philly or the Nets. He's going to get traded before the season ends.
Alex, you did not put Golden State in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you think I did that on accident? No, I did that on purpose. You asked me for who's going to make the West. Golden State is not the same Golden State. No Klay Thompson. Steph Curry, that game's a little bit out, okay? He's going to get his. Nobody's scared of Draymond. And James Wiseman, too much pressure, too soon. Let me repeat. Lakers, Clippers, Denver, don't care, either or. Utah, Luka, Memphis, Portland, and somebody gets the 8th. Phoenix misses the playoff.
All right, Jake, give me your Western Conference expectations, my friend.
The expectations will be the Lakers will be the number 1 seed, but I think actually the number 2 seed will be the Denver Nuggets because Jamal Murray, Monte Morris, and And Nikolai Jokic took a huge step forward in the playoffs, and I think they're going to bring it back even better. Mike Malone proved that he's a hell of a coach, and I think he's going to give the Lakers some fits because remember, this was a team that really got into under the skin of the Lakers before they were able to win the finals. And then you also talk about the Utah Jazz. I don't know about the Utah Jazz because I do not agree with that $205 million deal for Rudy Gobert, of all people. I'm not sold on that. I can't listen. Look, the Phoenix Suns are one of those little sneaky teams. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Chris Paul. And everywhere Chris Paul does, he kind of turns strong to gold for just a brief second and gets them to the playoffs. And then the Warriors. I can't wait to watch James Wiseman. I got to see what this guy has been doing during this pandemic. Has he been practicing? Has he been getting ready for this? Is he ready to be in Steve Kerr's system? So that's something interesting. And then the Mavericks. I can't wait to watch Luka. Can't wait to watch Porzingis. And I'm very curious to see how they rebuilt this bench because remember, Seth Curry is now in Philadelphia with Doc Rivers. So the Western Conference, game on. This is going to be a good one.
So I can't deny anything that you gentlemen have said, except I'm still with the head scratcher that Alex is putting the Golden State Warriors out of the postseason, which is fine because, listen, sometimes when this brother speaks, we all need to just shut up and listen. So I'm okay with it. I'm saying that I'm not cool with it, though. But I can see where the man's coming from. Always have, always will. That being said, I'm going to give it to the Lakers first and foremost because LeBron is on a mission to go back-to-back. After that, see, this is where it gets dicey. That whole 2, 3, 4. I say if Kristaps Porzingis can stay healthy and play a full season alongside Luka, I think Dallas gets that number 3 spot. Number 2, I am not giving to the Clippers. I'm sorry. Based on what I saw in the bubble, I'm damn sure going to give it to Denver. So I know you said 2, 3 don't care, but I do. So I've got Lakers, Denver, Dallas, and then I'll give it to the Clippers. I can't see Golden State not being back in, Alex. I can't. So I'm going to put them in at 5. Portland, that nobody's talking about. I'm putting Portland at 6. And see, that 7-8 matchup for me gets a little dicey and a little tricky. I want Memphis to get in, but I just think Phoenix is going to sneak in and shock a lot of people. Oh, and by the way, answer me one question, gentlemen. Is Greg Popovich still coaching the San Antonio Spurs?
Yeah, he is.
Yes,
How
he
are
is.
we not putting San Antonio in the playoffs? San Antonio has been in the playoffs.
Have you seen that squad? Have you seen that squad? This is a yes
Is
or no question.
Greg Popovich still coaching? Then I still put them in the playoffs. So I say San Antonio gets 8. Those are my thoughts. Let's move over to the Eastern Conference so we can wrap this here up tonight. And again, Michael Carrick, Believe in the Pac-12, Jake Rongholt, Turning Point Podcast, and Alex Fleming, NFL contributor for the Jacksonville Jaguars, host of The Carousel, Fantasy and Flavors. The brother does it all and writes some pretty damn good articles as well. Okay, Eastern Conference. And I'm going to go first here because you know that my heart is in Philadelphia, always and forever. But first year with Doc Rivers, I will say this. Philly will be the number 4 seed with the Philadelphia 76ers in the Eastern Conference. Number one may shock a couple of you gentlemen here, but I'm going to go with the odds-on favorite and say that Brooklyn gets number 1. KD, Kyrie, they get number 1. My number 2 is the Toronto Raptors, who are now here in the Tampa Bay area. Number 3 is the Indiana Pacers, because no one's gone anywhere from Indiana. So I got Indiana at 3, Philly at 4. I got Boston at 5. Now, here is where I get a little interesting. And, Mike, I love your face. I say the Washington Wizards get number 6. I'm going to show love to the Orlando Magic and say they get 7. And then at number 8 seed, I really don't care who gets in. Whoever is they're just the sacrificial lamb to the Brooklyn Nets. Those are my 8 for
Did you
the
not
Eastern.
say Milwaukee?
I did not say Milwaukee.
What?
Okay.
I know, Alex. Go ahead, say it, Alex. Go ahead, say it. I know you want to say it. Go ahead, say it, Alex.
Ooh.
You need to be drug tested.
Okay, there you go.
Can I go? Because bro, we cover basketball, and how the hell you go? Okay, wow. Woo!
I got to
Number
step
one
back for this
seed,
one.
right? Number one seed, Milwaukee. I'm sorry. One time could be an accident. 2 times is a trend. 3 times you might be doing something right. Milwaukee's been number 2 or number 1 seed the last 3 years. So how you left them off your playoff radar, bro? Eric, you're better than that. You're better than that. Number 1 seed, Milwaukee. Number 2, I think there's addition by subtraction. I kind of like Boston as the number 2 seed. I do. I think sometimes you lose Gordon Hayward. You don't have to worry about all those damn injuries or mockery in the locker room. Addition by subtraction. Number 3, how the hell are you going to disrespect Miami? Young squad with Jimmy Buckets, and you're going to drop them down underneath 5, 6, and 7? Really? Bro, you and me need to talk, especially about your basketball. You've been watching too many Eagles games. That's why it's been affecting your brain.
Well, you need to follow your own advice with the Warriors.
Number 3, all right? Miami, number 3. Number 4, to hell with Philly. I'm going to go with Toronto-Tampa Bay, all right? They go by divisions here, okay? Tampa. Raptors, call it what you will. Number 5, Indiana. You're absolutely right. They haven't lost anybody. The problem is they can't stand up to the top competition. Number 6, your precious Brooklyn Nets. You happy? I admit, they got better. There they are, number 6. But that's realism because Kyrie's going to tear that team apart. They play better without him. Number 7, the Orlando Magic. Yeah, they got better. Not much better, but they got better.
See, we agree.
Might actually have a damn winning record this year.
We agree on that one.
Might. Number 8. You ready for this one? The Chicago Bulls.
What? Wow. Okay. Wow. Now, you might need to be partially drug tested because the Bulls might not win 30 games, but that's okay. And
Mike, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to give Jake the final word here. But, Alex,
okay.
You and I definitely need to have that conversation.
And Alex, you should be drug tested about the Warriors, too. That's all I'm going to say.
Go ahead,
that's
Mike.
Okay. Okay, in the Eastern Conference, number 1, I'm with you on Tampa, Toronto. I got the Raptors as the number 1 seed. So nobody's going to talk about them. I'm Milwaukee at number 2. Milwaukee will be the 2 seed. Then I take Boston. I'm with you, Alex. Boston at 3. At 4, I'm going to go Miami because I think, again, Boston in the regular season to me has a little bit of difference. 4, I go Miami. 5, I go Brooklyn. I'm a little bit high because I'm with you on Kyrie, Alex. I want to disagree, but I don't think KD will let them, but I still think they get a 5 seed. At 6, I go with Indiana. I like Indiana too, but you're right. If they prove they can pile up to the big boys, maybe they get a higher seed. At 7, I'm going to go Philly. As much as it pains me to say anything about Philly, I'm going to go Philly. And my 8 seed, I'm gonna go a little flyer here. You went with Chicago. I'm gonna say Atlanta. Trae Young get the 8 seed in the East. Just ahead of Orlando. Just because when Eric sent this today, I like them giving Markelle Fultz the extension. And I love what Orlando did. I think it's going to come down to Orlando and Atlanta for that 8 seed.
Jake, final word is yours, sir, and then we're going to get out of here. Alex and I are going to get drug tested after the show here tonight.
Holy crap. Listen, I'm the biggest Bulls fan here, but I do not think this team's playoff ready yet, but I do like what I'm seeing out of Patrick Williams. I will say that. And I do like the way that Billy Donovan has put out some good lineups in preseason, but that's all I can say. If they can win at least 30 games, it's a miracle. Number 1, I'm going to go Milwaukee. Giannis, Drew Holiday. I'm excited to see what Dante DiVincenzo can do. He's been out there getting some minutes. I'm going to go Miami number 2 because I am not falling asleep on Jimmy Butler. I'm not falling asleep on Duncan Robinson, one of the best three-point shooters out there. They got better. Bam Adebayo, baby. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Number 3, I'm going to go Boston. I think losing Gordon Hayward might be a little problem for their bench. Number 4, I'm going to go Raptors. 5, I'm going to go Philly. I love what Daryl Morey's doing. Doc Rivers is the coach, but they still got a problem. His name is Ben Simmons. Number 6, Indiana. Number 7, the Nets. Love Kevin Durant, can't stand Kyrie Irving, and I don't think they're going to work well together. And then number 8, shout out to Chris Krause of 538.com. The Washington Wizards with Russell Westbrook sneak in and get that number 8 seed.
All right. That's going to do it for us here on the Sports Arena, gentlemen. Merry Christmas to all 4 of you, to the 3 of you. Thank you so much for being a part of the show this evening. Appreciate the love. Yes, Mike, I see your Dallas hat. Alex, you and I are going to go get drug tested. And Jake is pretty much the only sane person here on the show tonight. Happy holidays to all of us.
Both sides of the story, baby. Both sides of the story.
I'm sorry, Alex.
All right, now Pittsburgh's going to lose this game against Cincinnati. I have a word of advice for Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't give a damn about your TikTok followers, and I don't give a damn about your dancing. Maybe you should refocus on playing football and retaining that seed instead of trying to impress people with your dance moves. TikTok that.